Have you ever said to yourself, I just wish that I had more time for myself? I know I have. As a mom to 2 adult children with special needs, still living at home, I know how challenging it can be to deal with the real life demands of life, trying to find that balance between family, home, and business. And eventually I had the realization that I don't have time to do all the things, but I can make time for what's most important through prioritization, scheduling, and mindset. That realization led me to create my Time Prioritization System. And today I'm sharing the core principles of this system that help me create time for all of the life zones that are most important to me and carve out time for myself as well, because we can't pour from an empty cup. By the end of this training, you'll know how I created an additional hour for myself every day and how you can too. And today, I'm going to share the 3 core principles of that system that can help you start finding more time for yourself. So, principle number 1 is decide what matters most. This principle is the foundation of my time prioritization system. It's what allows me to prioritize my own needs along with my kids' needs without feeling guilty or overwhelmed. When I work with my clients on this system, we start by choosing 5 core life zones to prioritize. So areas like health, business, family, finances, and this allows us to focus on what matters most. Because the truth is, we don't have time to do all the things because time is limited on this planet. And when we think we have to do everything, that's when we get overwhelmed, because all we do is spin in the thoughts of everything that we have to do, and then we become so overwhelmed that we don't even know where to begin. And that's what actually prevents us from getting things done. So it's a vicious cycle because our thoughts create our feelings motivate our actions, and then ultimately our actions give us our results. So here's a pro tip. When you're feeling overwhelmed, try to identify that thought that's creating the overwhelm. Awareness is always the first step before transformation. And I know the struggle is real when you're a busy mompreneur or even a busy entrepreneur, right? Even when you don't have kids with special needs, because research shows that 80% of our thoughts are negative automatically, according to the National Science Foundation. And so our brains tend to exaggerate things in order to keep us in our comfort zones. One of my most common thoughts used to be, I don't have time to do everything. And, that thought still comes back because, it's our brains are designed to protect us and keep us in our comfort zones. Can anyone else relate to that thought of, I don't have enough time, right? Drop me a heart. Let me know if this is you in the comments. Give me some support. But over the years, through my training as a mindset coach and my self-coaching, I've learned to talk back to my brain. So instead of trying to do everything, I get clear on exactly what I want to prioritize. And I remind myself, I'll create time for that when I do my scheduling, which I do at the beginning of every week. And this is why prioritization is so important. We can't do everything, but we can make time for what matters most through prioritization, mindset, and scheduling. Once I got clear on what mattered the most, I did a time audit and I looked at where I was actually spending my time. And I realized there were a lot of things that I was doing that I didn't actually want to be doing. So principle 2 is to reclaim your time. This principle required me shifting out of that mindset that I had to do everything myself. Can anyone else relate to that? I think as moms, we often tell ourselves something like, if we want it done right, we have to do it ourselves. But when I really looked at where my time was going, I realized that I was spending a lot of time doing things that weren't in my zone of genius and that were draining my energy. So I started asking myself 3 questions. What can I eliminate? What can I delegate? And where can I ask for help? For example, I don't love to go grocery shopping, but my husband does. So I create the menu and the grocery list, and then he gets to go enjoy doing the grocery shopping with our daughter. Another example is that I don't really enjoy doing dishes at all. That task drains my energy. For a long time, I believed that my son, who has high-functioning autism, wouldn't want to help and worried that he wouldn't do the job adequately. That belief was actually a mindset block preventing me from asking for help. When I really thought about it, I realized that he was motivated by earning allowance money and that maybe if the price was right, he would be willing to do it. Sure enough, I made him an offer that motivated him. Now he does the dinner dishes almost every night, and I save about an hour of time every evening. And now I get to have that time in the evenings to relax and unwind. And usually that looks like soaking in a hot bath with Epsom salts while listening to my favorite audiobook. So imagine being able to get back an hour of your day. What would you do with that time? I would love to see that. Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear your ideas. And I encourage you to think about how it might be possible to reclaim just an hour of your day just for you, right? And start with your mindset because our thoughts create our results. So the affirmations that I repeat to myself every day are, I get to decide how to spend my time. And I'm amazing at creating time. With these thoughts, I remind myself that I am really in control of how I spend my time, and I have the power to create time for myself. And in order to reclaim our time, we often need to ask for help. As women, I don't think that we ask for help nearly as often as we could. And what I've learned is this. If you want something different, you have to get clear on what you want, and then you have to ask for it. So, principle number 3 is schedule what matters. Once you've decided what matters most and you've reclaimed your time, the next question becomes, how do you actually make time for everything that's still on your list? You create time for what matters by putting it on your calendar. You have to schedule the time. Yes, it takes time to do the planning and the scheduling each week, but it saves you so much more time in the long run because you're not wasting time wondering what you should be doing at any given moment. And scheduling also makes it easier to say no to things that aren't aligned with your priorities. How many times have you said yes to something and later you realize that you didn't actually have time for it? I know I've done that before. But when your week is scheduled, you can honestly say that you don't have time because you've already made intentional decisions about how you want to spend your time. And this is how you protect your energy. So, one of the most important ways to protect your energy isn't actually about time, it's about mindset. Our thoughts create our feelings, and the way that we feel determines how much energy that we have. For example, if you're constantly telling yourself, I should be doing more, that thought will drain your energy. Every time we say, I should be doing this or I should be doing that, we're actually criticizing ourselves. And when we do that, we're not giving ourselves credit for what we are doing. So one practice that has really been powerful for me is celebrating 3 wins every day. I make a note of them in my phone. Sometimes they're business wins. Sometimes it's just being present with my kids and reminding myself that I'm an awesome mom. Sometimes it's a mindset breakthrough. I used to wait until the evening to reflect on my wins, but now I like reflecting on my wins throughout the day because it energizes me. As women, we give so much to others. We need to give ourselves credit too. That's how we protect our energy so that we can continue pouring into the people and the activities that matter the most. So when you apply these 3 principles, decide what matters most, reclaim your time, and schedule what matters, then you can start creating more time for what's most important to you, even when you have real life demands. Because the truth is, we may not be able to do everything, but we can choose to do what matters the most. And if this training resonated with you and you're thinking, okay, I know what I need to do, I just need help implementing it, then I would love to support you. I offer a complimentary breakthrough session where we'll take a deeper look at where you are now and what's keeping you from creating the time, balance, and the momentum that you want in your life and business. During this session, we'll identify what may be keeping you stuck and map out a clear path forward so that you can achieve your life and business goals. So DM me or comment breakthrough below, and I'll send you the link to schedule a time to talk. And I look forward to connecting with you and helping you create more time for you.